Hmm. What is the internal working of concurrent hash map? What is the internal working of concurrent hash map?
Yeah, HashMap is like which is HashMap is not a synchronized one, but concurrent HashMap is synchronized by itself. So concurrent HashMap is like when one thread is in read operation and another thread wants to modify the content of the map, it will not throw any concurrent modification exception. So because it maintains fail-safe iterators, not fail-fast iterators. So this is the advantage with the concurrent collections. Like list set also there are concurrent collections like copy on the error list, copy on the error set also we are having the concurrent collection. But by the hash map is itself not synchronized one. Hash map will allow one null key and multiple null values. Hash table will not allow even one null value. It is a legacy class introduced before the JDK 1.0 and it is synchronized on hash table. But hash map is not synchronized. It allows one null key and multiple null values. When we are trying to add the same value again, it will override the previous one. Hash table, hash map maintains on the event of like hashing technology. It works on the basis of hashing technology and there is a contract between the equals method and hash code method which are defined in the object class. Like when two unequal objects can produce the same hash code value, but two equal objects cannot produce the different hash code values. When two unequal objects producing the same hash code value causes hash collision. To avoid this hash collision, we place the values in the linked list in the form of a linked list, and from Java 8 it is converted into a balanced tree or binary tree.
Okay. What is producer consumer problem?
Producer consumer problem is a multi-threaded communication. I think while inter-thread communication it will occur like a deadlock situation. I think inter-thread communication we are using the wait, notify all or the methods which are used for the inter-thread communication. Wait method, these three methods are defined in the object class. So once we call the wait method, the thread goes to wait state and the lock will be released. So it is facilitating other threads through by giving a chance to it for having a thread. So notify all methods are like it releases the thread which are in the notify state. It releases multiple threads which are in the notify all method will releases all the threads which are in the waiting state.
Okay.
So we can create two type of threads. Like in two ways we can create a thread. Like one is extending a thread class object and overriding public void run method, and also implementing a runnable interface and overriding the run method. It always better to implement a runnable interface because there is a chance to extend another thread also by implementing the runnable interface. Like start method should be there. We need to call the start method even though we did not define the start method. But start method will hand out the run method to the local operating system for scheduling. Based upon the local operating system scheduling, the time slot will be allocated and it will be scheduled depending on the time it will get executed. The thread will get executed based on the OS time scheduler.
Okay. Okay. How we can detect memory leak?
We use JProfiler is one of the tools to identify the memory leaks and the performance issues. I think there are so many other tools also, but this is one of the tools to identify the memory leakages.
Okay. Fine. What is the use of blocking queue?
Sorry, blocking?
Queue. Use of blocking queue.
Queue.
Yeah.
Queue, I'm not sure. I think.
Okay. How garbage collection works?
Sorry, can you come again, please?
How the garbage collection works in Java?
Yeah, garbage collector is a low priority thread. Like we have threads, like there is a daemon thread also we are having. Daemon thread is a low priority thread which will be executed to support the user threads in the background to support the user threads. One of the threads is like garbage collector is the one of the example of the daemon thread. It will work in the background to support the user threads. So there are some methods also there, like we can make a thread as a daemon, like there is a set daemon method, is daemon method to check whether a thread is a daemon thread or not. We can check it by using is daemon method, and also set daemon method is there to make a thread as a daemon thread. Set daemon method is also there. So daemon thread works in the background to support the user threads. One of the thread is garbage collector thread.
Okay, fine. So what is young generation and old generation?
Sorry.
What is young generation and old generation in garbage collection?
There is a system.gc method is there in the garbage collection to check.
Okay. What is the use of
Okay.
finally block?
Finally block will get executed irrespective of the exception thrown in the try block or not. Like try catch finally. Either finally block will get executed irrespective of the exception raised or not in the try block. Try block is defined to some piece of code which is already proven to generate the checked exception. The code which is proven to generate the checked exception will be placed in the try block. So finally block will get executed irrespective of the exception raised or not. The purpose of the finally block is to close the connections which are open, like an IO connection, which are connections are open in the try block, then we need to close them. So for that purpose, we have writing a finally block. But from Java 7, I think we are having the closable and auto closable interface. We implement the closable and auto closable interface. We are closing in that.
Okay. In Java 8, what is double colon operator?
Double colon operator is used for the method reference. Method references are there in the Java 8. So there are 4 types of method references are there. One is containing class name, colon, instance name, and static method name, instance method name, constructor name, like new operator. Yeah, there we are using this double colon operator.
Fine. What is consumer interface?
Consumer interface is a functional interface. Predicate, consumer, supplier, these are the predefined functional interface. A functional interface is an interface which is having a single abstract method. But we can, along with the single abstract method, we are also writing the default method also, which is a concrete functionality. It is defined for the backward compatibility purpose of the previous versions. Before the Java 1.8, we can write only a starting abstract functions only in an interface. But from Java 1.8, we are writing only a single abstract method. But along with that, we are writing the default methods and static methods also. We cannot override the static method, but if we want, we can override the default method. We cannot override the static method, but we can override the default method. So for this purpose, for the backward compatibility purpose only, this default methods have been designed. For an example, we have a for each method is a default method which is defined in the iterable interface. So there are so many functional interfaces also there, like runnable interface contains only a single abstract method which is public void run method. And also comparable interface containing compare method which is a single abstract method, and also callable interface containing call method which is a single abstract method. These are all the examples for the functional interface method. If you want to check if this interface containing only one abstract method or not, then we can use functional interface annotation. This will identify the interface that it contains a single abstract method or not. But the important purpose is lambda expressions are implementing these functional interfaces. Lambda expressions are used to implement the functional interfaces.
Okay. Okay, fine. In database, what is indexing?
Indexing, I think, is to a particular area like clustered index or like those scenarios are there in the databases. To identify to easily identify in the database, like similar to the index of other things also, same like in this way we use it to identify directly.
Okay. What are the changes in Java 8 for HashMap?
Yeah, for the HashMap from Java 8, instead of linked list, we are using the balanced tree or the binary tree for storing the values when hash collision is occurred. When hash collision is occurred before to Java 1.8, we are using the linked list to store the values. But from Java 1.8, we are using this one, binary tree or balanced tree.
Okay. Okay. So what are the some best practices for writing SQL queries? While writing SQL queries, okay, so what are the best practices that we have to follow for performance improvement?
Yeah, for best performance improvement SQL queries is like less number of lines and like that. I think I'm not sure exactly, but
Okay. In Spring, what are the scopes of a Spring Bean?
singleton, prototype, request, session, global session. Singleton, single instance will serve as a multiple for the multiple request. Prototype means for each request there will be a separate object is created for multiple requests. In the case of prototype, a request means request scope means for each based on request it is created, and for session and also for global session is one it is created.
Okay. What is the use of at the rate Spring Boot application annotation?
At Spring Boot application is the main annotation for the Spring application. Right, at Spring Boot application consists of three annotations, like at enable auto configuration, at component scan, and at configuration. It works in three ways.
Okay, so what is the use of at the rate component scan?
At component scan means it identifies and scans all the Spring beans which is having the components and configuration. The Spring identifies all the components, Spring components, and it will scan first before starting of the Spring Boot application. First, it identifies and scans all the Spring components.
Okay.
Component is like stereotype annotations. Like there are 4 types of stereotype annotations. Are there like at the rate component and at the rate like repository, at the rate service, at the rate controller. These are all the stereotype annotations.
Okay. What is Spring initializer?
Spring initializer is used to start the Spring Boot application project. Like spring.io.initializer, we can define our own dependencies, the Java versions, and the project name. All these details we can define in the Spring initializer, and by packaging that as a jar zip file, and we can download. We can get that values in the zip, and we can download the project into the IDE like Eclipse or STS or any IDE. We can download that once we create the Spring Boot project.
Okay. How we can replace the embedded Tomcat servers?
Tomcat and Jetty servers are by default we can get in the Spring Boot application. By in the IDE we will already get them, Tomcat and Jetty. We can replace them. Like if you want to change the port number, you can change it in the application and properties file, or we can change in the IDE itself. We can change the servers. We can replace with an external server also, like JBoss, or if you want any external server also, we can replace it in the IDE itself.
How we can disable any auto configuration class? If I want to disable any class.
Yeah, in the XML there is one disable column. I think we use that to disable the auto configuration.
Also, there is a annotation like exclude.
Yes.
Okay. How we can integrate Spring Data JPA with Spring Boot?
Yeah, Spring Data JPA is a specification, and there are so many implementations like iPadis, MyPadis, Hibernate is also one of the implementation for the JPA. To persist the data from the Spring Boot application to the backend database, we are using the address repository annotation. Like we will write a repository which will extend the JPA repository or the CRUD repository, and repository.save. There are some predefined methods in the repository, like repository.save, repository.find by ID, find all, find by ID, find by name. We can write our own SQL queries also in the repository, and there should be one class should be like we are using a table annotation like that, and in that class we will write all the details of the columns and like at the rate column annotation is there. We will at the rate ID. We will generating strategy like high, low, algorithm or auto. By using one of the generated strategy, we will define that class which will persist the data into the backend database, and the details of the database we will mention in the application.properties file, like what is the dialect of that and what is the host name, password, username, password. All these details we will mention in the application.properties file, which will persist the data from the Spring Boot application to the backend database.
Hmm. Okay, fine. So coming to microservices,
Yeah.
okay. So how the communication happen between two microservices?
There are two ways. One is we can use the REST endpoints, we can use the REST services to interact with the two microservices. So microservices are independent actually, and they can communicate with each other, but they are stored in the like Eureka service registry will be there. We can store all these details in the Eureka service registry. They can communicate in two ways. One is through REST endpoints, and another one is through queues. Like we are writing the SQS queues, like asynchronous queues. There is a asynchronous queue mechanism will be there. By using any type of asynchronous queues, they can communicate. One is like by using the listener, they can listen the message from the queues which is posted. Like they can in some class they will post into the messages to the queue, and it will listen the messages asynchronously.
What is circuit breaker?
Circuit breaker is mechanism is like one of the design pattern of the microservices using with historics we are using, like fault tolerance of the API, like when one server is down or when some failure is happening, it avoids cascading the failure to before steps or next steps. So it stops the cascading of the failure, and so because the user cannot know what is the failure and he is continuously hitting the server, so it stops cascading the failure to others, but it allows some requests. So if your request is fine, then it will resume the normal operation of that. For this, we are using the circuit breaker mechanism.
Okay, fine. How we can connect asynchronously from one service to another service?
Queues, we are asynchronous queues are there, like SPS or any other queues. Queue mechanisms are there, like SPS queue. We can connect, like we can post a message to the SPS queue, and by using the listener, we can listen asynchronously. Automatically, when some message is posted in the SPS queue, it will listen by using the SPS listener and the queue name. We will listen asynchronously.
Okay.
And Kafka is also one of the message broker mechanism is also there. It follows the publisher subscriber model. In this fashion also we can listen asynchronously the message posted in the queues.
Okay, fine. So I think theoretically I'm done now. As per the procedure, we have to move for one coding test. So do you have laptop access?
Yeah, this is mobile. I am joining with because it has some issue in the Zoom, so that they advise it to on the browser to join. So it is working now in the mobile.
No, I think you can join from both device. Okay, for from mobile and from laptop. Try joining from mobile so that you can do a coding test.
Okay, okay. Can I write in this chart? There will be a chart window. Can I do that?
How can you write in chat? So okay, you are in laptop.
Oh no, this is the mobile. Okay, I will try.
So you will type here. Okay, okay. So just tell me.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so how we can write factory design pattern? Just explain
Sorry,
theoretically if you can.
sorry. Can you
Factory
repeat
design
it?
pattern.
Okay. Factory design pattern is one of the design pattern. Like we use first of all, there is a child class decides which instance has to be created. First we will write a interface for that or an abstract class for that. So once we define that, the child class will decide which instance has to be created. For suppose if we are having two abstract classes, or if we define two interfaces, then the implementing class, the child class is responsible for creating the object of that class. So we will define in the child class. So we will create the object of the interface or abstract class based on the extending class. That is important. Child class is responsible for creating it.